Welcome everyone to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lloyd 212, and I'm with Connor Farley. What's up, Connor?
Hello.
So, like you were saying, go ahead.
Well, it appears that after 4 years of fighting colon cancer, Chadwick Boseman, who is probably most famous for playing Black Panther or T'Challa in Black Panther, has died.
Yeah.
Age 43. And that is just the thing that really kind of strikes me for six on this is that he filmed Black Panther and then two of the biggest blockbusters of all time.
Yeah.
While fighting colon cancer.
Right.
That is no easy feat. And the fact that he was able to hide it so well physically.
Yeah, I don't think he told anybody, right? You don't think so, right?
I think Kevin Feige might have known. But that was incredibly low key. I'm kind of glad that there's very few deaths in Hollywood that kind of strike me as before their time and very kind of River Phoenix was one of them. Heath Ledger was another. I actually think that considering that the place that Chadwick was in his career and where he was going with things, because he was getting some very good roles. He was in a film earlier this year that I saw on Netflix, a Spike Lee one called Da 5 Bloods.
Right.
And he was great in it, but he was looking very thin. And I
thought a lot of people were worried, thinking that something was wrong with his health, and they dismissed it, right?
Yeah, I thought it was for the role because he played a vet in Vietnam. So I thought, he lost a bit of weight, kind of get more into the role, of playing a soldier,
right? And it wasn't probably.
It wasn't. It was clearly this because of how cancer just absolutely ravages the body,
right?
But the fact that he filmed Black Panther, then Infinity War and Endgame in the 4 years that he was fighting colon cancer is just absolutely stunning.
Yes.
This is a terrible, terrible, terrible loss for Hollywood.
I agree.
And it's just so left field.
This is like the third cast we're doing on this, and I got to tell you, like, everybody's just destroyed. First cast I did, I was just a wreck.
I'm not a massive fan of Marvel, but Black Panther was a great movie actually, and I thought that he was one of the. In fact, I thought it was one of the best kind of parts of the Avengers team when he eventually joined it in Infinity War.
I believe he was filming. I don't know how far along he went, but I believe they were filming Black Panther 2, or doing something with it.
I mean, I'm guessing now that they'll get Shuri to replace him.
I don't think so. I think that they'll probably make it that Michael B. Jordan survived and turned a whole new leaf and is the new Black Panther, maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking they might go that route.
It's a very difficult route for Marvel because if I recall correctly, I'd heard that. First of all, I'd heard that Brie Larson was going to be the new face of Marvel. Then I heard Richard Madden was going to be from the Eternals.
Well, originally it was supposed to be Tom Holland. Then they thought with the contract thing with Sony, they lost that, so they're going to switch it to Captain Marvel. Then that's supposedly switching. So it's
I also remember at one point Black Panther was going to be, if not the face, one of the kind of top 3.
Yeah.
In the new Avengers team.
Right. I think the new plan is now to bring back Tony Stark, Captain America, the Avengers, basically all original, and not replace them. I mean, yes, you're gonna have a female Thor, but Thor's still gonna remain probably. And all these plans about replacing them with younger heroes or whatever, that's gonna go out the window. And I think they're gonna have some type of thing to honor him in the movies when they all come back. But this is very heartbreaking. This is very unexpected. And when you saw the news today, it's like you looked at it a couple of times, like, no, it can't be. Maybe it's a hoax. No, it happens, and this has been a horrible year, Connor.
I genuinely thought it was a hoax, because you get these hoaxes all the time where they say, "Oh, R.I.P."
Yeah.
And then I saw it on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like,
"Yeah, no.
Wow, okay."
It was it was everywhere instantly, everywhere, and
it's the fact that he was kind of on. He was at the stage where he was going to get a really good career, because Black Panther had propped him up to get roles with people like Spike Lee. And
Denzel Washington paid for his school. You know that, right? So I wonder what he paid. He put him through school. So I wonder, like, how he feels about it, like what's going on in his mind about it. Because if he didn't do that, he wouldn't have went through acting school and stuff like that. So it's just, oh God, life is too short, people.
It is, and
if you didn't know that already,
it's no place to discuss kind of who's going to replace him. But if they were thinking of replacing him, I would actually probably say, and maybe it's just because I've seen Tenet, I would say that Denzel's son would be inappropriate. He's got the physicality and everything, so he would be inappropriate. But again, it's no place to kind of.
Well, here's the thing: at the same time, they were in the middle of making that movie, so that movie has to be scrapped. Black Panther 2, and unfortunately, they're so intricately connected that they have to talk about it. They have to do it because they're already behind with the movies. So if they were filming it now, they have to scrap everything, and then they have to rewrite the script, and that's going to cause, because again, they're all interconnected. So one movie will delay all movies, kind of. But again, it's not something I really feel comfortable talking about, because this is just fresh. I do want to talk about other things too. Have you? Well, Hayden was talking about Tenet. He loved it. And I know you loved it, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go over about Tenet a little bit, explain things, because that's doing well, right? I heard.
I'm not sure how it's doing box office wise, but critically it's doing actually quite good. I don't know what Hayden said about it, but it's not an easy movie to understand.
Well, explain that the whole concept of time travel and everything. You really have to think.
Like you've got to engage your entire brain in it, and for general audiences, that sometimes can be a massive turnoff,
right?
Towards a movie. It's definitely Christopher Nolan's trickiest movie to get your head around, I think. Partly because the science of it is just too difficult to understand, but also because it's a great movie, but there's issues where, for example, the sound mixing. And again, it would have been good to have Hayden on here, to be honest, to kind of bounce off of. There was sound mixing problems where the dialogue was drowned out by the score.
Oh no!
And you couldn't hear the dialogue as well as you probably should have been able to.
Oh no! So I mean, they had a lot of time to put it out, though. I mean, why would they screw that up?
It's it's an issue with all Nolan's films because if you remember back in the day, Dark Knight Rises, there was a huge problem. There was a huge problem with Bane's voice.
Yes,
it's exactly the same thing here.
They're screwed up. Remember?
Yeah, it people with strong accents you couldn't understand. There was a lot of Russian and Indian accents in it, and you couldn't understand either that well. And bizarrely, they were the ones that were given the most exposition, where they're explaining how invasion works. You know, what the
he was trying to explain the time travel thing to us. You want to take a go at it without spoiling it too much? Like, I mean, he was saying some. Well, why don't you try at least?
Well,
try.
It's not really that well explained, but inversion is where the entropy of which I don't even know what that means of an object is reversed. So in the movie, it comes across like it's the Force in a weird way.
Like they're going through a tunnel, right? From the future?
Yeah, so in the movie, there's a room that's split into two halves. So you've got the red half, you've got the blue half. The blue half, they're going backwards in time, so they're inverted. In the red half, they're going normal. I believe that was the way it was. Okay. And as soon as you go through that door, you're moving forward in time, but the world around you is moving backwards. So that means breathing is impossible. He has to wear a mask. The whole movie, from the halfway point. I'm trying not to spoil it here. He's got to wear the movie. He's got to wear the mask because he can't breathe when he's inverted. Because the way that the lungs work, it can't take. It'll be as if like air's leaving the body, rather than oxygen's leaving the body, rather than it consuming it because it's backwards. It's such a complex thing, but it's not really actually that well explained in the movie itself. Because
I mean, when you're going backward in time, are you constantly going backward in time, or is it like you go backward in time 5 minutes?
No, you're going constantly. You're going constantly. So what this leads to is that the villain, played by Kenneth Branagh, is literally always 5 steps ahead. Because what he did was he sent a team from the past into the future, and he sent himself backwards. So they met at a point where they'd seen the past. The future from the past. So there was one team moving forward in time, and then there was him moving back.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. So he's from the future?
Yeah, he's from the future moving backwards.
So he goes backwards in time, and he sends a team that's in the past
forwards,
which they don't have to be inverted, right? They're going forward, right?
They're going forwards. Yeah.
Okay, so, but is there a thing that the past gets altered because you're in the past?
No. It's called a temporal pincer movement, and his intention was to cover the span of the movie and just before it, to see everything that the hero of the movie, which was John David Washington, Denzel's son, and Robert Pattinson, were doing. So he was always 5 steps ahead because
But he would always win, though. Then, right? Unless they. Okay, is it possible for them to go into the past, go into the future, go into the past, where there's multiple versions of themselves in it?
I'm not spoiling anything.
Okay.
But
maybe I just hit the nail on the head. Probably.
I will say you're onto something there.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I just probably figured out the whole ending.
Yeah. To say anything more on that would be spoiling you. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to do that because some of the best parts is when it deals with stuff like that.
Okay. That's good. I like stuff like that where you use your brain. So this should be the movie of the year.
I would say so. Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if Bond would have been out, Bond would have been the movie of the year, right?
Right. I mean, maybe Dune, but apart from that,
if Dune comes out,
if Dune comes out, of course.
And we still got other movies too. I mean, did you see Bill and Ted yet?
No, it's not out here.
Oh, Phillips, sir. All right. Well, it was on demand. Yeah. It's video on demand. I mean,
it's not video. No, what they're doing over here, and I saw this the other day, is that they're releasing it in cinemas later this month over here because our cinemas are open.
Right. So we don't have them open either.
We're getting it video on demand after you.
Okay.
Philip saw it probably by downloading it himself.
Right. Yeah, we got it. We got it today, and New Mutants I think broke too, which
is getting absolutely plated. I saw.
Getting roasted, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I saw one review call it the worst XMen, the worst Fox XMen movie of them all, and that's pretty.
Because the last one the Dark Phoenix was considered the worst.
That's considered. Yeah, that's kind of crippling because the Fox X-Men movies aren't considered great anyway.
Right. I didn't even see. That's how bad it was. I didn't even want to see Dark Phoenix. I gotta watch it though. Dark Phoenix, but it was just so no interest in it.
Nothing about New Mutants really interests me. I know Maisie Williams is in it, and
did the actors start bashing it too? I heard that they started like distancing themselves from it too, kind of.
No, Maisie Williams, I saw earlier, quoted a bad review on a negative review on Twitter and said, "Well, it sounds like a must see. Buy your tickets now." So she was defending the movie.
Okay.
Now, whether that's a contractual obligation or whether she feels like it is actually a good movie is
right.
Is anyone's guess. Critics, I think, sometimes are unfairly judgmental of movies. They can often, especially recently in recent times, they can exaggerate.
Yeah.
How bad or how good a movie is. For example, Joker, I remember got a few reviews that going back now I would not agree with.
Yeah.
I think they missed the entire point of it, to be honest. And they were so worried about it causing violence.
Yeah, I heard. I know
that they gave it a bad review.
Yeah, which is bad.
When in fact it was one of the best movies of last year.
Yeah, I loved it. We got some news to break. There's going to be some delays in movies now. The G.I. Joe spinoff Snake Eyes, which was scheduled to be released October 23rd, is going to be pushed back a full year to October 22nd, 2021. Paramount Pictures is making a big deal of Scream returning to the theaters, Scream 5. So it's released January 14th, 2022. So these movies are going to come out way into the future, I believe. Let's see. The Clifford the Red Dog, that's going to be delayed a year. Paranormal Activity is going to be delayed a year. The new one, they're just moving everything, basically. They're running for the hills, Connor, feeling that these movies are not going to be, movie theaters are not reopening, so they're just going right to 2022 now.
I'm shocked that they've moved Scream because it doesn't take an awful lot of time to film a film like that because it's
I know.
That's a very low budget kind of shoot, I think.
I mean, not low budget as in, I mean, it is a big budget horror, but not like it is a movie. Like horror movies are cheaper to be made, yes. But then when you consider the contracts, like how much they're going to pay the actresses, it's really not going to be that cheap.
It's usually also just one location, isn't it? It's just one town.
I mean, yeah, but you also got to get these actors back. Like, you know, that's going to be cheap. But yeah, I mean that they don't feel that 2021 is safe. They're just going to 2022, which has me worried, Connor, because like we had talked about Bond and everything, all these movies from 2020 is going to 2021. Now the fear is that COVID is going to be continuing into 2021, which means that in the matter of a month or two, we are going to be seeing massive news about possibly movies that have been delayed from 2020 into 2021 may totally be taken out of 2021 altogether, which would be a disaster.
Well, one of the movies that I don't want delayed, apart from Bond and Doom, that is luckily restarting filming either next week or the week after, is the Batman.
Yes.
Which, seems to be getting back into production. So hopefully that doesn't see a new year-long delay or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I hope they kind of do everything to try and get that out as soon as possible. Because they've got a real kind of chance there at a great DC movie.
I think so. It looks great.
Especially after that trailer. That trailer is one of the best trailers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And
he looks phenomenal.
Trailers.
He looks great.
That was, I was stunned by how good that trailer was.
Yeah. I'm psyched about it. So, all right. Thank you very much, Connor. Had fun. All right. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye for now, guys.